Welcome back to another episode of the Equipment Room Exchange. Now, Jacob, first of all, you look fantabulous.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Secondly, I'm on this side of the desk with you.
You are.
I am. Now, as we determined last week, that doesn't always necessarily mean what it's supposed to mean, but this time it does.
Yeah, that is factual.
So, would you spin around and...
This is not working out as I thought it was. There we go.
There we go. All right, we're good. We got there. Hey, things happen. But that does mean we have a guest in the studio. Now,
we do.
In the studio today is a friend of the Equipment Room Exchange. It is none other than... Would you introduce him, Jacob?
The man, the myth, the legend himself, Hudson Kaak.
Welcome
Hudson!
in. Welcome in.
Welcome back!
How about that?
Welcome in.
Good intro.
Let's
I
go.
appreciate
Let's
that.
go.
Yeah, I feel really
What's
good.
up?
Hey, you know what?
What's going on?
We're glad you're here. It's always nice to sit down with you. This is your, I think we determined fourth time
Yeah.
on the
Yes.
Equipment Room Exchange.
Yep.
So kind of one of our
Third invitational.
that's
One
true.
time I just dropped by and was
Yep.
like, guys, I'm jumping on.
But as we discussed then and as we'll discuss now, you're always welcome here at the
Yeah.
Equipment Room Exchange. You always have a
Thank
place
you.
here. You know, very good to have you back. A veteran of the
Vet,
show, if you
yes.
will. A vet, a
Yes.
true vet.
I want to be on like your honor board.
Do
Like
you?
Like you have like a
Or Hall of Fame, if you will.
yeah, just like a regular.
Just
That's
like
cool.
like regular contributor Hudson
if
Kaak.
I don't take anything away from my American experience, just being on the Equipment Room Exchange regulars board,
That's enough for you?
I'll be happy.
Wow.
Heck
This guy,
yeah.
he knows how to butter up a host,
There
let
we
me
go.
tell you
That's
something. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
Same here.
But outside of the Equipment Room Exchange, obviously, you know, we converse a little bit outside of the show.
Yep.
Sometimes.
We do.
Do we?
Occasionally.
I think we only talk on show.
No, it's actually
mute
we're
off
silent
show. Yeah.
off show.
Before
Just
even the lead up, this is the first time we've spoken.
Exactly. No, I
we
really
just
don't
sit here in
speak ever.
silence like this.
Yeah,
I do. Jacob and I, we just stare.
We've been
longingly
sitting
into
here
each
for
other's
about
eyes.
half an hour, just doing this, waiting
That's what we do.
for the show to start.
It's how we keep it fresh, you know.
Yeah.
It's how we keep it real.
Of course.
But no, we do. Shockingly enough, converse a little bit outside the show, and one of those conversations has actually led to a segment that Jacob and I talk about every week on here, and that's kind of our intramural updates with our intramural teams. Now, as the viewers know, we have a flag football team,
Yes.
and as they know from last week, we did announce that we had a new head coach. And that head coach is sitting with us here today. It
Yes.
is Hudson Kaak. He is
It
the
is
head coach
me.
of of the O-Busters.
Yes.
Shout out the
So-
O-Busters,
The
man.
old Busters.
The O-Busters, you know, it's what we do. We
Yeah.
we get it done in the sun, if you will. But, you know,
It was night when we played.
the lights, similar.
Close enough.
They don't produce heat, but that's not the
It's all
point.
the
I mean,
same.
they can.
Exactly. You know what? These things happen. But regardless of Jacob's criticisms, you obviously got the call to be the head coach. You know, what, can you kind of walk us through what that process of getting signed was like?
Well, for starters, it was an honor to receive the phone call to know that I was being considered.
I'm sure.
And
No,
then
it
it was
would've
just
been
about
an
putting a presentation to put my best foot forward to the committee, to the board. GM, he, as you guys know, he drives a hard, drives a tight ship. So
Yeah.
Sure, I
I
know.
wanted
him.
to
He's a rough one.
wanted to put my best foot forward. Finally, went through the process, got down to the last three, and it was a nervous few moments there, but I was glad. The elation that I felt when I got told I was going to get the job was awesome, and we've been getting to work, we've been putting in the hard yards, and we're starting to see some results.
Yeah.
Now you obviously made a fantastic impression on those hiring you, because on your contract, it allowed for you to not only just perform on the sidelines,
Yeah,
but
that's
be able
true.
to get inside the white lines and be able to play a little bit. How did that make you feel when you heard that? When you were to figure that out?
It was a bit of one in all in. I don't like to tell my team to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do myself.
Of course.
So yeah, it was just one of those things where I was like, I can't sit here and demand and not go and put my best foot forward myself. So just one of those things. I'll do whatever the team needs, whether it's filling up the waters, cutting up the oranges,
There you go.
whatever you like. I'm there to do it.
No,
Now you
loved it.
now you
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So now you fit right in with the team culture and the fact of that you came out there, played a little bit of all around, which was fantastic for people on the team.
Three
You,
players, I'll
you-
say.
Yeah, but you made the most of it. You got a pick, which our defense has done a very good job of recovering those. And then you
Made
also
a full tackle.
Yeah, it was like you also kept the tradition going of getting unnecessary roughness penalties and also throwing interceptions.
Now
So-
we should also put out there as a disclaimer. It's not that we attempt to get unnecessary roughness penalties. I think the problem is there's just so much spirit and heart on the team.
As the coach, I do demand competitiveness,
Of
and I
course,
would
of course.
rather you make a mistake going full 100% than you pull out of a contest and not have a crack.
Right.
We don't pull out on the
So my thing is I was running down, ball got overthrown a little, and the guy intercepted it, and just to make sure he didn't run off on me, I was going down. He may as well come down
that's
with
fair.
me,
That's
And
fair.
it was all in good spirits. I
Of course.
apologized to the guy. I just, it was a natural, instinctual. I'd never played flag football before.
That's fair.
Believe it or not, even though I'm coach. It was more of a
It's just, it's just instinct, right? You get on the
Instinct.
football field.
Yeah.
You're hitting guys, you're tackling, so
Grab
you
and-
feel
grab
that
and
you gotta
roll,
go
yeah.
for it.
But it was all fun. The pick, what can you do? It was we had 4 seconds left. I just had to throw a Hail Mary, and
Yeah.
Yeah, it just went left.
Some
It
things just
happens.
happen, yeah.
not really
Very
my
exciting.
fault is the way I see it.
No.
But
I should have gotten over there. He's right.
Hopefully-
I
I
should've
should have ran out on the field. I was on the sideline. Should have ran out there.
hopefully we're in a position next week that we don't have to put me on the field because we'll be up by so much, and it's just
Yeah,
use the weapons that we've already got, which I have full faith in.
Heck yeah.
There you go. We appreciate that. Now,
See-
the one thing I do want to say, it is interesting. You were in for 3 plays, and all 3 of those plays ended in an interception, either for us or against us.
Yeah.
So, is that, something that you'd kind of game planned when you went out there?
Yeah, no, I knew I'd be good on D.
Of course, of course.
I was always, when I played basketball, I was always good at reading the play and getting interceptions.
High IQ, if you will.
And then when I was playing footy, I was always good at reading the eyes of the person with the ball, and so I knew he was going to throw it, and I just fell back into that hole, and luckily enough, it fell into my hands.
It was a beautiful interception.
It
Kind of
was.
a little basket catch, a little toe tapper. It was good.
Yeah.
No, it was good stuff.
Yeah, so thank you, I appreciate that. But yeah, the team's going good, and we're hoping to go a long way into the season.
Now,
We're
I
gonna
was going to say,
be-
has the playoff bracket been announced yet?
No, I do not believe so. I believe you have the rest. I was going to do that right now, but you're forgetting that on the interception, I was also running in on that play, and I totally may or may not have committed pass interference and ripped
nice,
the guy's
okay.
arm. And then falling out of bounds, I may or may not have had to contort my body so I didn't fall face first on the plastic yard marker.
Oh, yeah, that probably would've hurt a bit.
Because that would have been a little painful. But Hudson made me look like less of an idiot by coming down with the interception.
Yeah,
so.
I saw that you were committing a foul, and I just wanted to distract the refs by taking an unbelievable pick.
Of course, you
I'm
did
just kidding.
exactly that. So.
But I did say, like, if I cut it in front here and get in between the ref and Jacob, he's probably not going to see it.
There you go.
But if my pick got reversed because of you also would have been on the bench.
I was on
You
the
did
bench.
end up there
I was
anyway.
on the bench after that play anyway because I went on offense and I was not really wanting to run routes, so
That's
it
fair.
would have worked
That's
out.
fair. Now, what I will say is, obviously, you kind of, you weren't there. You got hired for the second game, right? And going into that, you had a little bit of knowledge of kind of the players on the team and everything. So going in, who was kind of like the star players you were looking at? Like that's my X factor.
As I was coming in, obviously you two very strong. Tyler, you defensively are an absolute gem.
I appreciate it. 2 weeks in a
And,
row, scored a touchdown too. Believe it or not.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Did you score that
Those
one
spin
on
moves.
Tuesday?
I did. I scored our only one.
Yeah, yep.
I don't remember that, but that's okay.
Yeah, it was a
I'm
little,
looking at-
little hitch route. He dropped it off and I hit it, little toe tap.
Oh no, I remember that one now. I remember
Yes,
now.
I remember. So the main thing for this team is just everyone. We have solid contributors across the board. I have my favourites, but I'm not really willing to disclose that right now.
Of course not. You never
because,
want to.
Every coach has got their favourites.
Probably you.
And those who say they don't.
That'd be like, it's definitely me.
Those who say they don't are liars.
Of course.
So-
Everybody has favorites, no matter what.
I'll keep those cards close to my chest,
Mhm.
but because with the trade period coming up, I don't want anyone entering the trade period.
Of course, I mean, kind of last thing for you here. Obviously, right? End of the day, goals to win the championship, right? Goals to take home the
course.
chip, right?
Yeah, if you're not first, you're last.
Exactly.
yes.
So, I mean, what do you without revealing too much? Of course, you don't want to reveal too much strategy. But what do you think this team kind of needs to do in order to get to that championship match and win it?
Look, I think we need to be better in the run game, making guys miss. I think we're doing a decent job at that, but the tactics of trying to make our flags hard to grab needs some work. I think we could use some work in even a QB run because by the time usually we choose to run, it's too late and he's been pressed already. So, and that will open up the passing game as well in turn. So, and then defensively, we've been pretty average at guarding the lateral passes. So, I think if we can press up on those passes and not allow so many 8 to 12 yard gains, that'll really benefit us going forward.
Now, you mentioned something about the trade period. And without giving too much away, is there any trade candidates that you have in mind, something that you might be willing to trade for?
Somebody who you might be willing to trade?
Yeah. Do you have anyone
Who's on the block, Coach? You tell us.
Because obviously it's not us two, right?
Well, I don't know. He could get a couple of first rounders for both of us.
Probably.
We might package this up and send us out here.
No, I need you guys out there, mostly for morale as well.
Big morale you are, Jacob. Yeah.
I think there'd be a few that I'd be able to put some package together, and inside sources say that Zane Flores might be looking to be on the move. So I would consider putting a package together for him. Look, he's a
serviceable quarterback.
Yeah, he's good. He's not going to be a franchise-changing player, but I think if we can just get a bit of extra polish in the passing game, might take us to another level. But you don't want to jeopardize the future of your franchise by trading too many draft picks, and
of course not.
So yeah, we'll have to consider that, and that'll be something me and the list managers will take care of.
Good to know. Love to hear it. Yep. Well, I mean, any kind of other thoughts on the team? Or in my opinion, I think that we've about covered everything.
I think so.
Pretty much. I think one thing we could improve on is getting the fans down there. The fans have been
interesting. You bring up the fans. The fans very vocal especially to me last game. So I don't know. Was that something that you'd kind of talked with the fans about? Was like, hey, give some as Jacob is now left.
No, that's funny. That just brought back a memory from the game that I forgot about.
Which one is that? Did you want to share with the group?
I gotta remember it more. I gotta remember the exact dialogue that happened. So give me a second. Continue though.
Talk about that one in commercial break.
Tyler is a bit of a fan favorite.
Yes.
I will say.
Yeah, well, I will say that. I will say that. That was confirmed.
The fans that come down. Look, you're a ladies' man. What can I say? So there's people.
Well, you said it, not me.
There's people cheering, and any support we can get, we're happy with. So yeah.
Of course, we love seeing the support that we're kind of been getting recently. But I think that'll kind of wrap it up for this segment. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be right back after this.
Got a computer issue? Meet AB Computers, Stillwater's trusted experts in computer repairs. We understand how important your devices are to you. That's why we offer fast turnaround times, so you're never disconnected for long.
Hello, my name is Roger Smith. I'm the owner of AB Computers here in Stillwater. I offer excellent services for repairs, upgrades, custom build of systems. I do Mac and PC repair. I've got best prices on pretty much everything you can look for.
We service all types of computers, from PCs and gaming rigs to tablets and everything in between. Whatever your tech needs, AB Computers is your one-stop solution. Whether it's a locked screen, a sluggish system, or any other tech trouble, AB Computers has you covered. Visit us at 211 North Perkins Road, Suite number 10, right next to Walmart. Our new location offers easy access and plenty of parking, making it more convenient than ever to get.
Ace in the Bowl Salsa started many, many years ago. I was trying to find a recipe to take to a family gathering, and so I started messing around with different recipes, and I took a little bit from here and a little bit from there, and I came up with a salsa that is truly unique. Ace in the Bowl Salsa is an olive oil-based salsa with tomatoes, green chilies, green onions, and black olives. There's no sugar added, it's gluten-free, low-calorie, low-carb, low-fat, low sodium. So it's a very, very, very good alternative to any snack you may want. As of right now, I'm just looking to be in Oklahoma and having a successful business within the state. If my grandkids could ever take it over when they're old enough, that would be my dream.
Welcome back to another segment of the Equipment Room Exchange. We are still joined by Mr. Hudson Kaak. Now, Hudson,
I know which camera it is.
there he is. He's right over there. We got a big pointer that Jacob is,
Yeah.
you know. So interestingly enough, obviously, you know, it's a very relaxed environment in here when you kind of come in. This is, you know, your 4th time on the show and everything.
Yeah.
But so relaxed, I didn't realize that we were getting in here, and you and our technical director have a little something going off camera, it looks like. Did you want to do any more flirting with Hudson before we go back on?
Thank you. I love yours.
Dude,
I
she's
can't
blushing
see.
like
I can't
crazy
see
up
you,
there.
but yeah. I mean, she's a lovely girl.
There you go. Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, and she's filling me with confidence, which is nice.
So, no, you know what? That is always nice.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to add up there?
She
Loves it. Loves
She
it.
loves it.
All right.
She loves
There
it.
you go. And you called me a ladies' man. I think it's you.
I try.
Hey,
I try.
happens.
What can you do?
Not much, unfortunately. Not much.
Anyway,
but...
Devin is the one TDing. It's Devin the entire time.
Shout out Devin. No, anyways, moving
Devin's
forward
not
though,
here today.
one of the things we kind of talked about, obviously, as you know, the premise of the Equipment Room Exchange is
Yeah.
how do we bring questions and conversations from the equipment room that are so ridiculous that we need to bring them on camera, right?
Yeah.
And one of the questions we kind of talked about off camera was, what is an animal that you wouldn't want to meet in the wild? Now, the answer that I put forward is
Most.
a sleep-deprived and hungry Jacob Patterson at about 2 in the morning. That to me is one of the scariest out there. But Hudson, you had a different answer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not overly scared. I mean, I do get scared of animals, but like I'm not like I don't worry about sharks all that much. Obviously, being from Australia, I don't worry about snakes and spiders all that much
of
either.
course.
I'm conscious of them, but I'm not like super scared of them. As you know, when we went digging through the long grass.
Right, we weren't in...
What was it? Which
That was in Fairview at Gloss Mountain.
Gloss Mountains, yeah, and we could have had rattlesnakes anywhere, but we were just like, you know,
Just like that.
yeah, they'll avoid us. But for me, it's crocodiles.
Mm.
So the reason being is that crocodiles don't care. Like, they don't have a conscience. They don't, like, they will literally rip their mother apart if they feel like it. They just don't have a conscience. They don't have emotions. They don't. So, like, I went to a crocodile farm, and there was this one crocodile called Hagrid. Big guy.
I mean,
Look out for Hagrid.
I was about to
Yeah.
say,
And
I
they
can
had
imagine.
to take him, isolate him, because he was killing all the other crocodiles just because he wanted to, not because he was hungry.
She wasn't even eating them.
No, because he was just like, just as a sign of dominance, I guess. So for me, it's like, and if you swim in shark-infested waters, it's like, oh, you might get bitten. If you swim in crocodile-infested waters, it's like you will die. Like, there's no question, because they sit there and they wait for you, and you make a splash on the surface, grab you, take you, barrel roll, dead.
You're dead. Yeah.
So that's my one. Probably
good
the
one.
thing I would least like to run into.
I mean,
That's
you've
definitely
made a good
up
case
there.
for it. You've
That's
made a good
definitely up
case for
there.
it. I'll definitely say that. I feel like the other thing with crocodiles is they're just so silent in the way they move through the water. Like, I saw a video the other day, and it was one sitting in just a couple of feet of water, and you didn't even see him, and all of a sudden he
Wouldn't
just
even know.
appeared. He's like 15 feet long.
Yeah.
It's just this massive
You
crocodile.
wouldn't even know. And another like big thing, actually, I will say they wouldn't be in my top 10 scariest if I met them
Really?
on land.
Oh, on land? Yeah, no,
So
on land
if
probably.
they're
not.
like, because they're in their environment in the water,
Yeah.
you really have no way of
No, you're toast.
winning that fight.
Yeah.
So, but if it was on land, I think the scariest land.
Is it? Well, let me ask this: is it angry and charging at me, or is it just kind of sitting there?
A crocodile or anything?
No, anything. Because like an elephant's
it's just
pretty
one that you're,
terrifying
like,
if it's
coming-
angry and
Yeah.
charging.
Like
at
like
me.
a bull too. Like
It's
you-
one that you're.
I've dealt with longhorn out in the
So
wild.
like you're out in the wild and you come around the corner and one's right there and you're just like, oh boy.
Elephant would definitely catch me off guard. I'd be a little concerned.
Well,
I don't know if it's the scariest.
if you're wandering around like Connecticut and you just stumble
Let me be honest
across
right now.
an
If I'm wandering
elephant,
around
I'd be-
Connecticut,
you'd
listen,
have other
here's the
problems
thing.
to worry
if
about.
I'm
I think.
wandering around Connecticut, there's animals I'm expecting to see and animals I'm not expecting to see. And the most dangerous one is like bear, mountain lion, maybe bobcat, but even that I think I could punt pretty easily. So I'm not too worried about that one. But if I turn a corner, like if I'm just out for a hike and I turn a corner, elephant, I'm done.
I have
I'm
one.
done.
I have one.
All right, hit
And
it.
it's not an individual animal, but it's a pack
Go
of
ahead.
wolves.
Ooh,
Yeah.
You would come
I could
across
see
a pack
that.
of wolves. I'm like, yeah, there's really not a lot of chance I'm making that out of that.
I'm taking one of them with me.
Have you seen The Grey, the movie?
No, I haven't.
I've heard
Like
of it.
their
I haven't seen
plane
it.
crashes in like the middle of, I want to say like Alaska or something,
Okay.
and just one by one the wolf packs just kill.
Just pick them off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stuff.
it's Liam Neeson. Hell of a
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
I love
I
that
know what
movie.
this one is.
And I really like Liam Neeson. He's a good actor.
Interesting. Good to know.
Yeah.
2011. Huh. Interesting. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have
You
to
should
check that
watch
one
it.
out. I'm definitely gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Wolfpack definitely would be scary. I could definitely see that. I'm gonna put mountain lion back out there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
lions,
of something that you'd like, that would attack you.
Mountain lion.
Are they aggressive?
They're aggressive. Like, and here's the thing: you don't know you're about to get attacked by a mountain lion until it's like chewing on your neck, because they just kind of they're like cats, you know. They stalk you and then they just pounce. Ah.
Yeah.
And they make some horrifying noises too.
Yeah, that's one thing about bears is like you might get a day where a bear's just not
He's just kinda
not
chilling.
having it. He's like, I'm not interested in trying to get away from you.
Shout out! What's the competition that?
Oh, the Fat Bear?
The Fat Bear
Do
competition.
you know about Fat Bear Week?
Fat Bear Week.
Do you know about this, Hudson?
Fat bear week.
Fat Bear Week, yeah. It's
do
put on
not.
by Katmai National Wildlife Preserve up in Alaska. And there's a population of grizzly bears there, and brown bears, and all they do for a number of weeks is eat salmon that are coming up the river. They'll eat like 30 salmon a
Bears
day.
do.
Bears do, yeah.
Yeah.
You seen Brother Bear?
I have. I
You
have.
know,
I know Brother Bear.
that watering hole where they're all eating, and it's like looks like
Big
absolute
ups, Phil
paradise
Collins.
for bears.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's that in real life. It's
Yeah.
just they all kind of like they fight for spots on the river, and then once they're in their spot, they kind of have their territory marked. They just eat the salmon, right? And so what happens is all these bears get massively fat, and just enormous. They'll go from being about 600 pounds to like 800, 900,000 pounds.
Chill.
Humongous, because they're about to hibernate. They need that to live
Yeah.
off of, right? Well, what Katmai does is they have trail cameras and stuff set out there, like live cameras, and then people have to go and vote on their favorite fat bear, right?
Oh.
The final this year came down to two bears, okay? It was Chunk and Grazer, okay? It wasn't only a finals matchup for like Fat Bear, it was also a revenge tour for Grazer, because Grazer is the first working mom to ever win the contest, which means she's the first one who's actively with cubs to win the contest.
That's not is it usually a male that wins?
Usually a
Yeah.
male. Females have won before, but usually they don't have cubs with them. So Grazer has cubs with her, right?
What a grinder.
I know. Here's
Yeah.
the thing. Chunk killed one of her cubs earlier in the summer.
How do you know?
Well, because they had all this is monitored,
Yeah,
right?
off camera.
So it happened. Chunk was kind of
Chunk's
chilling
the
around.
villain.
Chunk was the villain in this story, and he was beat by Grazer. But what happened was one of Grazer's cubs fell off a waterfall. Grazer goes down to get it. Chunk's attacking the cub and trying to eat the cub. Grazer goes in, attacks Chunk, gets the cub out of there. Injuries were too severe. Cub dies. Chunk, meanwhile, takes over the best spot of the river and is feasting like a king. Right? Grazer still somehow against all the odds beats Chunk. You ready for this one? By like 40,000 votes. It was 71,000 to like 35,000.
What they vote on it? Like,
So
I
so
thought it was
votes
who-
determine
I
it.
Yeah,
thought
it's
it was
votes.
who-
No,
who
no,
gains
it's-
the most pounds.
No, it's
Yeah.
votes. It's votes. It's determined by
Oh, well,
votes.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
That
no
makes
one,
sense
No
as
one
to
likes
why.
a villain.
Yeah.
You know? That's fire. I like that story.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
Have you? I don't know how much longer we got, but like,
Go ahead. We'll stop you if you need
have
to.
you seen Chimp Empire on Netflix?
I haven't. No.
You
What's
need
Chimp
to.
Empire? Do we?
It is basically like War of the Planet of the Apes vibe,
Interesting. Okay.
but it's a documentary. It's like filming real apes, and like without giving too much away, because you're
course.
gonna watch it. It's a 4-part series.
Okay. A little
And it's like
docu-series.
a narration, and they followed these chimps for 11 years
Wow.
in the wild, so that the chimps were comfortable with the film crew being there. And so these guys are literally from me to your way filming these things, and their chimps are just acting like they're not even there.
Wow.
And so there's a central group. This is in Ngogo, the biggest chimp colony in the world.
Okay.
Known colony in the world.
Right.
So there's a central group who has Jackson, who's their
It's their alpha.
alpha, and it is unbelievable how smart these animals are. Every night, all the males get up and they patrol their borders in a line, single file. And if any other ape colony is like near their border, they will either fight them or scare them off or do something. And so they've got the part of the jungle which is the most rich in the fruit that they love eating. Also, side note, did you know chimps eat monkeys?
I didn't know that. Interesting.
I know they treat them like a lesser animal and will attack them. I didn't know they ate them.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I
I didn't
never
know they ate them.
rip shreds off them. Anyway, when
Wow.
they get
That's
get
graphic.
all their food, Jackson has it all and he proportions it out to who he wants to have it. So if there's an up and coming male who might challenge him as
just
alpha,
won't give him food.
he doesn't give him food and because secludes him because he's like, I'm not letting you get strong because you might take me down. And it's actually unbelievable. And you know how you see in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I don't know if you've seen those movies, when the chimps are like asking for forgiveness, they like put their hand out and then Caesar has to like tap it.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Like
Really?
So like if someone like attacks Jackson to try and be alpha and he beats them, like they'll bow down to him and like put their hand out. And
And what happens if Jackson doesn't forgive him? Was that?
They can get banished.
Wow.
And then there's another group called the Westerner group, and I'm trying to remember their alpha's name, but he's a badass as well. It's like Davidson or Peterson.
Peterson. There we go.
He's a
Peterson.
big dude. And there's like
crazy.
the alpha will have like bigger chimps that are like his guard, like his guards.
He's got like
almost.
his
Like
enforcers.
He has
Henchmen.
like an alliance with the bigger ones to protect him all the time. And the way that they form alliances is by like picking bugs out of each other's hair and stuff. It is unbelievable. It
Interesting.
shocked me.
Interesting.
It is crazy. I would watch it.
I might have to check this out.
And kind of funneling back to our original conversation, that
wouldn't
is
want to meet a
definitely
pack of chimps in the
yeah.
wild
Well, just
either.
like even a handful in general.
Yeah.
Those are, I mean,
Here's the thing.
especially because the older they get, the more violent they get, and like that's something that
I'm gonna
you
throw
know.
this out there. You talked about animals you don't want to meet in Connecticut. There was a very famous case of a woman who owned a chimp in Connecticut. Okay, it was in her house. She treated it like like one of her kids, basically like a pet, and she paraded it around and everything. Her friend was over there one time. My guy loses it.
Yep.
Rips her face off.
I've heard about that.
Yeah,
in
They had to
Australia.
do a
there's
face
so many.
transplant.
Yeah, there's so
I've
That's
heard
insane.
about that in Australia.
That's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
made international headlines because this chimp legitimately ripped a woman's face off.
Yeah.
That's one chimp too. What are you gonna do if you meet a colony of them?
This
you're dead in
documentary
seconds.
may change your mind. Like the film person who put it all together, scientists that followed them around, went on the Joe Rogan show, and he talked about how like they're not aggressive animals if they're in there. Like they don't
no.
care.
Yeah.
They're threatened by other chimps. They don't really care about humans. They don't care about other animals that are passing through the. Like it's just like they're
It's just
very
other chimps.
territorial to other chimp groups,
Interesting.
and it's like you even get to a point where you're watching it so much that you recognize each chimp individually by name. Like
Interesting.
It's really
That's
cool.
crazy.
Well, viewers, go check out, what was it again?
Chimp Empire.
Chimp Empire. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
We would design something, it was set on the counter, and people was either, if enough of them said, this isn't it never made to the line. Dad was excited that they're all original. They were all designed on Mom's kitchen table, and it gets in your blood after a while.
We're very happy that Pamela and Michael have taken over the business and kept the family going.
We took the business over in 2017. When we found that it was available, we wanted to keep the legacy of family alive, but it was also incredible products that deserved to be a part of Made in Oklahoma's story. We were a part of Made in Oklahoma years ago, and so it kind of grew as Made in Oklahoma grew.
Oklahoma is ingrained into everything that we did. We've been here most of our life. That's what we entailed our whole business on, was the Oklahoma homegrown feeling.
Deep Fork Foods started in 2014. We started off with our nut products, and now we produce everything from jarred products to cookie mixes and pancake mixes and dried products for people, as well as our spice blends. Now we produce over 168 different products for ourselves and about 20 to 30 other companies in Oklahoma.
I'm Cindy Stewart. I'm one of the owners of Deep Fork Foods. We've gone from just making our own stuff and doing just small things to being able to co-pack and work with other companies and individuals within Oklahoma and across the United States as well.
I'm just really thankful for the journey that we've had so far and really look forward to the future where we're taking Deep Fork Foods and being able to provide more value for Oklahoma and its economy, as well as all the people within the state.
I love the opportunities that being in a food business provides. I absolutely love sharing food and good stories with people, so this just gives us another connection. And I can't wait to see where this path takes us with it.
Welcome back. Yeah, you know what, Hudson? You've been here enough. You know how to do it. Go ahead.
Welcome back to ERE. We're here with the two hosts. And we're talking all things celebrity crushes.
We certainly are. You know, we had the idea when Hudson originally said it, but since Hudson and our crew have been flirting a little bit, I figured, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's throw out. Let's bite into it a little bit. You know, let's talk some celebrity crushes. So I think we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with Jacob, because Jacob, as we know,
Funny.
doesn't care. So Jacob,
I actually call Kaak.
do you?
But
Jacob,
you've
go ahead.
never had a celebrity crush.
Who
It's
is a
rubbish.
celebrity crush? Movie character?
No judgment.
Like nobody ever.
Like, think back to when you were like a small child.
I don't even remember. That's the thing. I don't remember.
How many concussions have you had?
There's none.
Listen,
None.
I don't know if you know this.
None diagnosed.
I don't know if you know this, but this right here, this guy right here,
Huh?
this is a Texas state champion cornerback right here.
That's me. That's me.
Beast.
I might have not played. I might have been on the bench, but
No,
I got the ring.
He was in there. He played.
I did play in the game.
Oh,
I did start. Was I blocking on punt return? Yes, but
That's a contributor right there. That's a for the team mentality.
Yeah.
Too busy for the team. Didn't have time to think about celebrities, I guess. So,
No.
it's tough.
No.
Too busy blocking punts.
Too busy blocking punts.
Too
you know?
busy blocking four
Listen,
punts.
I'm just
for,
saying-
for punt returns.
I'm
That's
just
what I
saying,
was doing.
Hudson. You know, when you go to punt, you don't want to see this man rushing at you. Okay?
I wasn't rushing.
That's
so
a
that's,
bad man.
I was blocking
I've
the
had-
gunner, and I was getting run past every single time.
I've had the likes of Xavier Worthy, like all those sorts of types coming after me when I'm punting, and nothing would compare to you, Jacob.
No.
I don't
Starting
think
receiver
Xavier-
for the Chiefs, who cares?
Yeah.
No,
Jacob
me.
Patterson could
Yeah.
be
What's his
potentially.
name? DeAndre Sweat or something? Sweat?
DeAndre Swift?
Tavondre Sweat.
Oh, Tavondre
Tavondre
Swift.
The dude from Texas.
That big
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, he was
tackle.
on punt last year as well. Like,
Pales in comparison to Jacob Patterson.
yeah, I'm not scared of him. I'm scared of you.
Yeah. I'm scared of Tavondre
And what's he?
Swift.
That's 400 pounds.
That's a big man
Plus.
right
Yeah.
He'd be like damn near 400 pounds. I think.
there. Yeah.
No.
He's a big
My
dude.
180-pound self, or at the time I was probably more closer to 140.
That's
100%.
Scary stuff. That's a bad man right
Rah.
there.
right. What was your team mascot?
We were the Warriors. The Warriors.
I don't know what sound a warrior makes.
Rah.
Charge.
Ah.
Okay, so you didn't have any celebrity crushes.
Not that I can remember. I might need a second to think back.
Hey.
Maybe
Take as much time as you
maybe y'all's picks
All right,
jog my memory.
Hudson,
a
we'll
little
pass it
bit.
over to you then. What is a celebrity crush of
Okay,
yours? growing
two
up?
come to mind
Okay.
when I was
Shoot
young.
your shot. Here you go.
So my first one was Jessica Alba,
Mm.
and have you seen
Fantastic
Fantastic Four?
Yep.
Oh my god, she is stunning. No, seriously, and she's
Good, yeah.
still hot. She's still hot, like hot. I don't know when I say that. She's still hot as right now,
There you go.
and she's like, for maybe
I can pull it up. I can pull it up.
she's.
Hold
I don't want to say maybe mid-40s, late.
on. Jessica Alba is 43.
Okay. So yeah, she's still an absolute smoke show in my opinion.
There you go.
But then my second one was Gabriella Montez from High School Musical. So Vanessa Hudgens.
Vanessa Hudgens. There you go.
Oh yeah, she's hot. She and a great singer.
Very great singer. That's true.
And also both of them great actresses as well.
Phenomenal.
So they're probably my two that spring to mind. So if Jessica Alba was watching this,
That'd be crazy.
I would love to meet you sometime.
That's fair. You know what? You gotta shoot
I
the shot. You
heard
gotta
she's
shoot
a
the
big
shot.
fan of this show.
Huge
Really?
fan. We
Yeah.
have some star power
Yeah.
in the viewership. That's
Heck
all I can
yeah.
say. That's all I'm
I
saying.
actually heard she's a big fan. So
Yeah, no, you know what? That's valid. That's valid.
What about you?
So I guess it's my turn now. The funny thing about mine is so as you know, big history guy. You know, my dad and my grandfather always showed me old movies and stuff like that. And now this isn't necessarily an old
Betty
movie,
White.
but that's crazy. That
Betty White in her prime. My God.
how dare you disrespect Betty White like that? You know how far down Betty would have to settle to get with somebody like that.
Yeah,
Not
sorry.
Betty White.
So that's
No, what I was gonna say.
Sorry,
just gonna go.
I didn't
No,
mean
it's
to
fine.
hijack it.
I'm just gonna go.
It was just you were gonna say someone old, so I was like,
Someone old is crazy.
Queen Elizabeth.
Now Jacob's gone. I get back and he leaves.
You got a tie. You've got a tie.
You know. I listen. All I'm saying is I covered a quilt retreat this morning. So.
Well, chill. All right.
Anyways,
who was?
it was gonna be Carrie Fisher actually. She plays Princess Leia in Star Wars. So
yeah. No,
so
I feel like that's
as
a
kid,
pretty.
Jacob, listen. With the context of conversations that have happened around here, we don't necessarily need that information out. On
I
the
wasn't
radio.
gonna say it. I just needed to get the look in. You know,
that's a pretty common one.
I think it's a common one as well
blokes.
for guys growing up. You know, you watch Star Wars and it's one of those things where it's like that's your first crush because it's like that's Princess Leia right there. You know, that's a bad you know what.
The Jabba the Hutt scene. You know Jabba the Hutt?
I know the scene you're talking about. I wasn't going to specify. I was really just going to kind of leave it nice and general.
I feel like it's pretty famous.
No, definitely a famous scene. Definitely a famous scene. But yeah, so Carrie Fisher, who is as we all know, unfortunately passed away. So R.I.P.
Along with R.I.P. to Betty White and Queen Elizabeth.
As well to the two of them.
No
yes.
disrespect.
No, of course, no disrespect.
Of course
no. Anyways, and then as I got a little bit older, I obviously, was like, you're like 12, 13, you're like, women have cooties, get them away from me, bye, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have that moment where you're like, you know what? Never mind, right?
Who?
Anna Kendrick, Pitch Perfect. I'm just going to say that right now. Mm-hmm.
Really? She actually kind of looks like someone who I went to school with.
Does she?
And I can check if she's still single, if that's really your type.
I appreciate that.
But as I moved forward into like my teenage years, I'm trying to think of who springs to mind. Obviously I was a big Selena Gomez guy for a while,
of course,
but that was like early teenage years. And then Zendaya is beautiful and great actress also.
Phenomenal actress, very talented woman.
The Greatest Showman. She's great in that.
She is.
Shout out The Greatest Showman.
Great movie. Just a great movie in general.
Or according to one of my friends, The Greatest Snowman. As he likes to refer to that.
Does he?
Yes.
Any particular reason?
I think because his sister was like trying to get him to see it, and like one time her phone autocorrected to The Greatest Snowman, and so that was just like a reoccurring joke for him.
My phone always autocorrects Huddo. Like my friends call me Huddo, Hudo, and always autocorrects it to Judo. So it's like, is Judo coming? And it's like.
I went to Planet Orange. Off topic from our previous conversation.
Is this how they spelled your? But on that box, is that actually how they?
Yeah, no. I went to Planet Orange, which is in the NRD, Nancy Randolph Davis building, and they've got some other choices that you can't necessarily find in the Union. So I usually go there every once or twice a week.
Decent food.
Yeah, it's decent. It's solid. Better than most of the things you can find in the Union. But anyway, I went and I got a burger, and they yell out your name whenever your order's ready. And I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, and what looks like my order comes out, and then they go through the mic and they're like, Jackie, and I was like, oh, I guess Jackie, Jackie. Is how they spelled it, and because they write the name on the box, and then they also print it out on a receipt, and so they write Jackie on the box, and you're like Jackie, and then the person who had announced their name also had checked me out as the cashier, and so after she said Jackie, she stopped and went back and grabbed the receipt and looked at it and was like Jacob, and so when I went to grab my stuff, he's like, I have no idea why they wrote Jackie on there, because it's like I did not check out a Jackie at all in the past half hour. So
I never give my normal name to those things. I don't know why.
You just walk up, be like, yeah, I'm Sam.
I just say anything. Peter,
really?
James.
There you go.
One time I said Cornelius, and then she was like, can you spell that for me? And I was like, never mind. Just write corn.
You do that? Because me and Tyler have the fortunate yet unfortunate thing of having very common names.
We do.
So I think your name might beat me on that list, unfortunately.
Yeah, a lot of Tylers out there. Sometimes I don't do it frequently, but if it's one of those things where I've got a lot going on and I just I'm thinking about other stuff, so I want to make sure I don't miss my name or I don't go up there 3 different times trying to get something. I'll give them a fake name, and usually the one I go for is either Lawrence or Gerard.
The trouble I've had with it though is you forget. and then they're like calling your fake name out for a while, and you're zoned out.
So it's one of those things where I think like I use it sparingly enough that like I know when I'm using it, so it's like a conscious
I change it every time.
You see,
so.
I have the same too that I go with.
My go-to on the occasion whenever I do this, I go with Bruce Wayne.
Do you? Start going Wayne Bruce.
Wayne.
Or Wayne Kerr.
But anyway, with
That's it. Show's over.
No, hey, it's a real name. I actually know someone named that.
Do you now?
Yep.
I'm not buying that.
I'm not gonna Jacob,
but anyway, but normally sometimes I do forget about Bruce Wayne, but usually whenever someone yells out Bruce Wayne, it kind of catches my attention. I'm like, oh wait.
I feel like if I was in a public spot and somebody called out Bruce Wayne, like you would pay attention. You'd be like, what is going on?
Yeah, I'd be like,
That guy just
oh wait, that's me.
My name, Justin Bieber.
Right. I did it in a Whataburger drive-through one time because it was a very busy Whataburger, and I said I wanted to have fun with it. Also, my girlfriend was in the passenger seat, and she hates when I do stuff like that.
What's your girlfriend's
So her name is Landry.
Landry.
Yes.
That's a nice name. I've never heard it until I got to America. There's so many names I'd never heard till I got to America.
I think there's definitely a lot of different names, especially around here. Like, there's a lot of names that like I don't really hear up in Connecticut that are definitely a lot more popular down here.
Garrett.
Gunnar. Garrick.
I feel like those are more country. Would it be remiss to say those are more like country-esque names? I would say maybe. I feel like kind of they are.
Connecticut.
That's true because those names that you said are I hear a lot more back in Texas and Oklahoma. But if they're like new not unusual names to y'all, then I guess it might be more a Midwest.
Hold up, no.
A Midwest thing.
Oh, I gotta pull this up. I went on a date with a girl, and her name was like I sat there and I was like, that's an interesting one.
You don't remember her name?
Okay, it wasn't recently.
How recent are we talking?
It would have been last fall, so it was like a year ago.
Okay.
And this just reminded me of that.
Obviously, the date didn't go too well, so.
Evidently not.
Shout out to this girl he's about to expose by name.
Well, it's just the first name.
I don't have contact anymore.
Yeah, that's
it was like
I probably wouldn't expose her name
anyway.
But there's a name that's super popular in Australia, like probably arguably one of the most popular boy names, and I've never met someone over here named Lachlan.
No, not many Lachlans over here.
Lachlan, not at all. Lockie, very popular in Australia.
Is Hudson also a popular name in Australia?
No, I've met one other.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I know one other here. One other Hudson here.
I do not. See, my brother's names are Indiana and Logan, and they're both like relatively uncommon as well.
Logan's probably the most.
Logan's not that popular in Australia. But
it's a bit more popular here. We know. Yeah, we know a couple.
I've met a few Logans.
Yeah, definitely a couple of Logans.
But yeah, it's fun.
But anyways, well, enough about names. I think we'll take one more break and then we'll finish this episode out. Be right back after this.
My name's Dennis Abernathy. Lived here since 1968, and I consider myself one of Stillwater's oldest original family jewelers. Here at Dennis the Jeweler, we're more about personal service. My father always told me that anybody can sell the jewelry, and what we're doing is completely different, learning to do the repair work. That is one thing that will keep your business alive, because anybody can sell it, but not anybody can fix it. To me, jewelry is very, very personal. Every piece of jewelry has its own story, and I get to hear hundreds of stories from my clients, which I love to hear. There's always a story with it. I mean, you buy a piece of jewelry for a show of appreciation, a sign of love. There are a lot of different aspects for jewelry when you purchase it.
My wife lived east of here, about 35, 40 miles, something like that, over at Lamont. I was dating her from over at Alba when we were going to college. I knew about the well then. It was a great well. It was great water. I'd stop there, stick my head under it, wake up, drive on home, that kind of thing. And people talked about bottling this water. And so that's why I started thinking about doing that. And so in 2003, the property come up for sale. And so we started working on that, had the opportunity to buy it. The hopes are when folks drink our water is that they'll drink it for a few days and find out the difference. They'll start feeling better because there's been no chemical in our water. There's a list of good things that we have. We don't have any bad things in it. This company means a lot to me because I guess we started it from scratch. And to be able to have it where it's at today, I don't see this as the end at all. I see the future of Divine Water as being worldwide, which will bring outside dollars into the state. It means a lot to me because I started it, I guess, and our family started it.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
You know, Hudson, I've had an idea for this last segment. Speaking of improv and thinking on our feet, which is one of the things we were talking about in the last segment. This is your 4th time here, and I think...
What were we talking about?
Potentially.
Potentially. We were potentially talking about that.
Potentially, it was a conversation I had in my head. Don't worry about it.
We didn't talk about
it. The point is, what if we did a little musical chairs real quick, and you interviewed us?
Oh. Okay, yeah, I'm down. So let's do that. Do you want to actually switch sides?
Let's go. Here. You know what? You join Jacob over there. I'll go first. I'll go
Okay.
first. You can use my computer. Don't do anything too crazy over there. My search history is all media law notes because we had a quiz today. So I was prepared.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to be interviewed.
Tyler, obviously you're a man of many talents.
Of course. You said it, not me. But
yeah, no. So what would you say your biggest strength is, and what position are you looking to get into after college?
No, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that, actually, because I think a lot of the time what happens is we define ourselves by a skill, 1 skill, 2 skills, and we let that kind of control what we do and control our path in life. And I think what my skill is more than anything is adaptability. And the reason I say that is because no matter what situation you put me in, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to figure out what my place in that situation is. I'm going to figure out where me as a puzzle piece fits into the larger puzzle, right? So I think my biggest skill is definitely the ability to adapt based on the situation. You know, coming in as a freshman and adapting and seeing I needed to be able to learn graphics and do that. Learning that I then needed to learn how to produce and kind of figuring that out. Becoming the news director and adapting to that. And even things like my internship at the library right now, adapting into more of a video editing role and kind of getting into that long form content production. Things like that is really kind of where I thrive. Is just figuring out where I'm needed, learning that skill, and applying that skill.
That's a very good trait to have, I might add.
I like to think so. I think it's helped me a lot in a lot of different situations. It's one of those things where, kind of jack of all trades, master of none. I can figure stuff out and get average at it enough that I can kind of keep up with the pack. On the topic of what I'd like to do after college, obviously, the goal is to kind of become the next David Muir. World News Tonight with Tyler Tripodi. That's kind of what I envision. That's kind of what I see. So
I love that.
I've got goals, and I'm going to achieve those goals, and I'm gonna do what I got to do to get there. After college, though, we'll kind of see where the jobs are, kind of see where I have to start. Whether that's market 180 or whether that's market 1. Who knows? I don't know what the future holds, but I can tell you where my end point is, and that's hosting a national news show, and I can tell you where I'm at right now, which is sitting at this desk with you guys. How I get there, couldn't say.
Favorite pizza topping and most underrated pizza topping?
Favorite pizza topping, classic, basic, pepperoni.
Okay.
I love a good slice of pepperoni. It's really good stuff. Most underrated pizza topping, though, and this one's kind of unpopular sometimes, but if you get a real, and I'm talking a real good meatball pizza, ooh. Now, here's the thing, and I've got 2 answers, so that's the first one. But a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll take, slices of meatball. It's like, what are you doing? Stop it. You take meatball, you crumble it up, and you sprinkle it on a pizza.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful. The other one that I'm going to throw at you guys right now, that I'm sure you guys have not had, but it's low-key amazing. Have you ever had a mashed potato pizza? Now, I know what you're thinking. Tyler, that sounds like blasphemy. That sounds like heresy. I'm telling you, if you find somebody who does it really good, imagine just like almost like a loaded mashed potato, right? Cheese, bacon, mashed potato, like all that kind of stuff, but then put that on a pizza. It's good. I'm just going to say that now. It's good as I get a little darker.
It doesn't sound that...
It's good. It's good.
You do, man.
Now, I'm not going to order it. Like, I don't love it, but it's underrated.
Okay.
Next question.
All right, here's a question for both of you.
Okay, let's do it.
We can just have a general discussion.
Sure. All right.
Well, for Tyler, my initial question was going to be, who would your dream interview be? Like, who would you want to interview the most in your life?
Now, that's a phenomenal question.
Yours, but then, like, we can talk about afterwards, like who would you want to have dinner with?
Okay, yeah, kind of one of those,
But
one of those
we'll go to the
situations.
interview one first.
The interview one's a tough one. You know, there's a lot of people out there that I think have really great stories. You know, a lot of people you don't necessarily think about. Obviously, a lot of people go dream interview like who's a celebrity I want to talk to. Who's this person? Who's
Obviously
that
you
person?
can't say me because you've interviewed me before.
You know, I was gonna say you actually.
That
I'm
was,
glad that you
that's
pointed it out.
I didn't.
I was
Already-
getting there. No, I was getting
My
there.
dreams fulfilled.
Now, is it living or dead, or is it just people who are alive?
We'll go alive.
Okay. Out of people that are still with
It'd
us,
be pretty boring
still-
to interview a dead person.
That's fair. You know, they wouldn't talk much. But
No,
on this
probably
side of the
not.
ground, I would say I would probably have to go with. It's such a tough question. There's so many great stories out there. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say Ken Casey and the rest of the Dropkick Murphys. They're my favorite band, as a lot of people up here know. But the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is because they've had such a long career and they've been able to see so many different, you know, like evolution of music, so many different kind of albums and stuff like that. But on top of that, you know, they released Tessie and everything like that, lead up to the Boston Red Sox World Series win when they broke the curse and everything like that. And so like that was like a pivotal moment in the band's history. You know, there's other stuff like that. There's other people who've been involved with the band, and I just think they have such a great story that I'd love to be able to kind of talk with them about that.
You see, I traditionally, I know, I've thought about this question before, and I know I have a great answer, and I cannot think of it right now.
See, I used to have a top five.
It's like, I know I have an
five,
answer,
and
I
it's
cannot
top
remember it
five.
for the life of me right now.
So,
Give me a second.
yeah, you're good. While you think, what would it change if I said people who have passed?
It would change if you had said
And
people who'd passed.
Betty White.
Still not on the table, actually. Believe it or not. Queen Elizabeth also not.
She'd be fascinating.
She
though.
would be fascinating.
Being the most powerful woman in the world. From
One of the
20
most
years
powerful.
old.
I mean, one of the most powerful women in the world. You think you get to watch kind of as the kind of the monarchy
From
starts to
literally
dissipate
our
and
age.
everything. Exactly,
For
from
so
our
long.
age. I mean, just imagine you get crowned the leader of the Commonwealth. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's insane to think about, and I think she'd have a fascinating story. And all those years in power, and just how well spoken she is, and things like that, would be phenomenal to know. But when we talk living and dead, one of the people that I would want to speak to the most out of anybody would definitely have to be Julius Caesar.
That's a good one.
I just think he's one of those people. The reason I say him is because it's another one. He's fascinating. Takes power at such a young age. Or Alexander the Great. You know, these are great dictators who have taken power at a young age, who just kind of did it through charismatic and militaristic means. You know, it's one of those things.
See,
you don't see it
I
anymore.
did have a thought, and this could be controversial, and I'm not saying I want to meet this person, but
Sure.
I think an interview with them would be fascinating.
Okay.
I did think Hitler.
Okay.
Just to figure out what in
Kind of how the mind
world,
works there.
Like what in the world is
What's
going
it, I
on
mean,
with
it's the
him.
same
Like,
reason that they do TV shows about, like, you know, inside the mind of a serial killer. You know,
Yeah.
obviously you don't want to talk with, you know, Richard Ramirez. Like, nobody
Yeah.
wants to talk.
I
to
think
him.
it would be a
But
fascinating interview.
exactly to see how that brain works, to see how that clicks is it's incredibly fascinating.
Did you?
I cannot remember. I know the one. It's one who's no longer living. I remember that. I cannot remember that. I can't remember who it is.
Michael Jackson would be fascinating.
That would be a good interview, too.
Imagine being that famous from 8 years old.
I know, just the massive. I mean, we have really not seen the levels of fame he achieved since then.
No.
And from such a young, he
Oh
was
my
a
God,
child in the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
Like being raised like that, it's got a. I mean, it has its.
I mean, there's
pros,
been
but-
interviews. They've talked about how terrible it was and everything like that.
But if I was to have dinner with 3 people,
Let's hear it. I'm ready.
and obviously celebrities, people that I would never usually have dinner with, I would say Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
Is a
I like
big
it.
one of mine. I'm a big fan of Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
I'm a big Stephen Curry fan, so
okay.
I think that would be fascinating to have dinner with him. And then I'm tossing up between like a Roger Federer. I think he's a really
A good one.
really cool guy. And I'm tossing up between that and someone who's more like on the inspirational side of things, like Nick Vujicic. I don't know if you know who that is. He was a dude who was born without arms or legs, and he's a motivational speaker now, and he has achieved such great things across the world. So people like that, I think, would be really fascinating to have a chat with. But yeah,
That's fair.
there's so many.
No, there's
Yeah,
definitely
so
so many.
I'm
If
trying to
I'm
process
sitting
some
down
of
for dinner with 3 people and I get to kind of pick the 3 of them,
Alive.
alive, Morgan Freeman. That's just somebody who's fascinating to me. I would
Hugh
love-
Jackman.
That's a really good one too. I'm gonna go Morgan Freeman. I'm gonna go This is a tough one. I only get 3 picks. Okay. Morgan Freeman's a definite. He's definitely getting a slot. I think my next one is going to go to, and it's alive. Yeah, it has to be alive.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I think my next one, I'm probably going to go ahead and I'm going to give that spot to somebody like, ooh, it's so tough. You know what? Actually, I do know. I'm going to go, okay, so I'm going to go Morgan Freeman. Then next up, I'm actually going to go Music World here, and I'm going to go ahead and it's not going to be a Dropkick Murphys player. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull somebody from, do I want to pull Gene Simmons? Yeah, I'm going to go Gene Simmons. So I'm going to go Morgan Freeman, Gene Simmons, and then on the last spot, I think I'm going to go with somebody who is kind of more on the successful business side. I'm going to get Elon Musk in there.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Fascinating. That would be fascinating. Just for me, it's just like all-round high achievers, and just hearing the way that they went about it and all that sort of thing, I think would just be really fascinating for me. So, yeah, Elon Musk would be a huge one. I'm not sure what his background was, like if he was, like, were his parents millionaires or like what's
I don't know, honestly. I think I
like
know.
he wasn't like a Trump where he just like inherited.
I don't believe so, but I'd have to look that up.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
It's for me, quickly, because I know we're running out of time here.
Yeah.
Obviously, for me, sports figures, just in general, like I'm going to try and keep away like any popular Houston sports figure on the list generally, but someone just kind of, JJ, CJ Stroud, Altuve, all the big Houston sports athletes, I'd obviously want to. But one kind of outside the box that randomly popped in my head is Christopher Nolan.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The director, you know who Christopher Nolan is?
He'd be great.
Yeah, it's like I know you
He'd be
do.
awesome.
He would be just how does someone, it's insane what he creates. Just as a job and stuff. So that'd just be a cool one.
There you go. Well, I think we are out of time here for this episode of the Equipment Room Exchange. Thank you so much for watching to the Equipment Roomers. We love you. Hudson, thank you very much again for coming on.
Pleasure.
Yes.
Hudson, do you want to sign out for us?
This has been ERE. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you next time.
Go Pokes.
Go Pokes, baby!
Pecans are staple to Oklahoma. In fact, many of our native pecans come from trees that are older than Oklahoma statehood.
My father's the one that got us started into the pecan picking. I was probably 10 or 12 years old, and we started off with one little mechanical picker that you pulled behind a four-wheeler. Then we'd go home at night and we'd clean them on a TV tray. I guess watching my dad work hard when we were young, and people started trusting him and getting more and more groves, we just kept growing.
Being a relatively new and fresh company, we get to sit in the same room with people who have been a part of the Oklahoma economy for decades.
It's opened a lot of doors. It's gave us quite a bit of exposure, and I think people, will take a small company like us a little more serious. We're just going to continue growing as long as our community lets us and our customers keep on buying, and we'll see where it takes us.
My name's Kayla. I've been here since the beginning, so 4 years. Scratch is more focused on farm and mostly made in Oklahoma products, keeping it local. Sustainability is our biggest thing. That's one of the reasons why this place opened.
I've been the chef here at Scratch for 2.5 years. Started here as a line cook. Our food and drinks are a bit separate entities almost inside the restaurant. So the food is now up to 85% of the products we bring in are raised or grown locally. It's all based off of things that I grew up eating in southern Oklahoma, the things my grandparents ate.
Fresh food, clean food, organic food, sustainability, that's all of our thing. From front of house to back of house, we're able to maintain both with freshness. But made in Oklahoma means we get it straight from the farms that are 20, 30 minutes, another little county away. We get it straight from them.